The Art of Laziness offers practical strategies and proven techniques to overcome procrastination and build productive habits. We'll cover the entire book, chapter by chapter, in just a few minutes. Chapter 1: 100% Responsibility. Let's begin with a cornerstone of success and growth: taking full responsibility for your life. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that time has slipped away. There's no more opportunity to do the things you've always dreamed of. That's the heart of the quote. One day, you will wake up, and there won't be any more time to do the things you've always wanted. Do it now. Taking responsibility means stepping out of the victim mindset and owning both your successes and your failures. When we blame external factors, other people, bad luck, or the circumstances we find ourselves in, we're giving up our power to change anything. Think of this as claiming your personal freedom. After all, responsibility is the price of freedom. If we embrace responsibility, we become proactive in solving problems and creating opportunities. Each day, ask yourself, where can I take more responsibility? Start small. Maybe it's taking charge of your health, owning up to a mistake, or committing to a plan of action. Set goals that are meaningful and keep track of your progress to hold yourself accountable. Remember, personal growth isn't about perfection. It's about progress, one choice at a time. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Chapter 2: Comfort zone is your enemy. Now, let's talk about the comfort zone, or as I like to call it, the stagnation zone. It feels safe and familiar, but staying there too long can rob you of growth and potential. Growth happens when we challenge ourselves, even when it feels uncomfortable or scary. That's why it's said, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Think of any major achievement in your life. Did it happen while you were playing it safe? Likely not. Staying in the comfort zone can lead to missed opportunities and a sense of dissatisfaction. The discomfort of growth is temporary, but the rewards are immense. Start small. Take one daily action that pushes your boundaries, like speaking up in a meeting, learning a new skill, or reaching out to someone new. Reframe fear as a signal that you're growing, not a sign to stop. Regularly set challenging goals that make you stretch, because true fulfillment lies in the progress we make outside of our comfort zones. Chapter 3: Work on the right things. Let's move on to working on the right things. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what truly matters. As the saying goes, doing less is not being lazy. Don't give a damn about being productive for the sake of productivity. It's easy to fall into the trap of being busy without being effective. Instead, focus on the tasks that align with your most important goals. To do this, you need to prioritize wisely. As another great quote says, the key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Start each day by identifying your top 3 priorities, the tasks that will make the biggest difference. Use tools like the Eisenhower matrix to separate what's urgent from what's truly important. Regularly review your activities to eliminate things that don't serve your goals. By focusing your time and energy on the right tasks, you'll reduce stress and make meaningful progress, one step at a time. Chapter 4: Don't be a perfectionist. Perfectionism tends to paralyze us. We become so focused on getting every detail right that we procrastinate or avoid starting altogether. The truth is, striving for perfection often creates fear of failure, and that fear keeps us stuck. As the chapter says, perfection is the enemy of progress. Instead of aiming for flawlessness, aim for consistent improvement. Think about it. Would you rather finish a task at 80% and refine it later, or spend endless hours stuck at 0% because it's not perfect yet? Remember the quote, "It is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation." Progress, not perfection, is what drives real results. The chapter encourages us to set clear, achievable goals with deadlines to avoid over-polishing our work. For example, if you're writing a report, aim to complete a rough draft by a set time instead of perfecting every word as you go. Celebrate small wins along the way. They build momentum and confidence. making future tasks easier to tackle. By accepting imperfection, you create space for creativity, growth, and faster progress. Chapter 5. Don't be mediocre. Settling for good enough might feel safe, but it often leads to dissatisfaction. Life is too short to aim for average. As the chapter puts it, you cannot achieve greatness if you settle for mediocrity. Striving for excellence doesn't mean being perfect. It means giving your best effort in the areas that matter most to you. Consider the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. As the quote reminds us, the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra. Putting in a bit more passion, effort, or time can elevate your work and open up new opportunities. To escape mediocrity, start by identifying areas in your life where you've been settling. Maybe it's your career, relationships, or personal goals. Create a plan to improve, no matter how small the first step might be. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to push your limits, as their energy and drive are contagious. And don't forget to invest in yourself. Develop your skills, read widely, and continue learning. Excellence is about consistent, intentional effort, and the rewards are worth it. Chapter 6. The Myth of Multitasking. Multitasking doesn't make you more efficient. It splits your attention and increases the chance of mistakes. As the chapter explains, you can do two things at once, but you can't focus effectively on two things at once. In fact, constantly switching between tasks can make you less productive overall. Or, as the chapter humorously puts it, multitasking is merely the opportunity to screw up more than one thing at a time. Think about the last time you tried to write an email while in a meeting or check your phone while working. Did either task get your full attention? Probably not. Instead, practicing single tasking, focusing on one thing at a time, leads to better results and deeper engagement. To apply this, start by blocking dedicated time for deep work on a single task. Turn off notifications and eliminate distractions to create a focused environment. Use a to-do list to prioritize your tasks sequentially, so you're always clear on what comes next. This approach not only enhances the quality of your work, but also helps you feel more in control of your day. By shifting your focus from doing more to doing better, you'll see real improvements in both productivity and satisfaction. Chapter 7. Daily Routine. A structured routine not only makes your day more productive, but also helps you conserve mental energy by reducing decision fatigue. Think about it. How often have you wasted time in the morning deciding what to do first? This chapter highlights the idea that your morning determines your day. Your day determines your life. The first few hours set the tone for everything that follows. So building positive habits during this time is essential. Routines create consistency, which in turn builds momentum. This isn't about rigid schedules, but about setting rituals that align with your goals. For example, starting your day with physical activity can energize you, while taking time to plan the day ensures your efforts are focused. As the book says, discipline equals freedom. A little structure can free up your mind for more important decisions. To maximize the benefits, schedule your most important work during your peak energy hours and reflect on your progress each evening. Taking a few minutes to review your day and plan for tomorrow keeps you on track and ready to hit the ground running. By designing a routine tailored to your priorities, you can ensure every day is purposeful and productive. Chapter 8. Learn to say no. Every time you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else, often without realizing it. This is why the chapter emphasizes that the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. Learning to say no isn't about being rude. It's about setting boundaries to protect your time and energy. If you're constantly overcommitting, you're likely spending more time on others' priorities than your own. To avoid this, start by identifying what truly matters to you, your highest priorities. As the book advises, you have to decide what your highest priorities are and have the courage to say no to other things. Practice declining requests in a polite but firm way, such as, "I'd love to help, but I don't have the capacity right now." Regularly review your commitments to ensure they're aligned with your goals and eliminate those that don't add value. Saying no isn't selfish. It's essential for achieving balance and maintaining focus. With clear priorities and the confidence to set boundaries, you'll find yourself with more time and energy for the things that truly matter. Chapter 9. Don't work 24/7. It's easy to equate long hours with productivity, but the reality is that overworking often leads to burnout and reduced effectiveness. As the book wisely notes, work hard, but don't forget to rest. You can't pour from an empty cup. Rest and recovery aren't luxuries, they're necessities for sustained success. Taking breaks allows your mind and body to recharge, improving your focus and creativity. The chapter reminds us the time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time. It's okay to spend time on hobbies or relaxation. It's actually productive in the long run. To strike the right balance, schedule regular breaks throughout your day and set boundaries around your work hours. For instance, establish a rule to stop working at a specific time each evening and stick to it. Use your downtime to reconnect with hobbies, spend time with loved ones, or simply rest. By balancing hard work with periods of rest, you'll improve both your productivity and your overall well-being. Remember, success isn't about working 24/7. It's about working smarter and living a full, balanced life. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Chapter 10. Don't wait. The truth is, there's rarely a perfect moment to start anything. This chapter reminds us with the saying, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now." Procrastination often comes from fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, or even fear of success. But action is the antidote to this fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. Inaction breeds fear and doubt. Think about a time you kept putting something off. Maybe it was writing that proposal, applying for a job, or starting a fitness routine. When you finally started, didn't it feel easier than you expected? That's the power of momentum. The chapter emphasizes the importance of starting now, even if your first step isn't perfect. Break large tasks into small, manageable steps. Start with the easiest one, or use the 5-minute rule. Commit to working on the task for just 5 minutes. Often, once you begin, you'll find it easier to keep going. Deadlines can also help create urgency, so set them for yourself to stay motivated. Remember, progress isn't about being perfect. It's about getting started. Chapter 11. Surround yourself with the right people. The saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This chapter highlights how the company you keep can either lift you up or hold you back. Positive, driven individuals can inspire growth, while toxic or negative relationships can drain your energy and derail your progress. Take a moment to think about your inner circle. Are they supportive of your goals, or do they discourage your efforts? Surrounding yourself with people who lift you higher can make a world of difference. These could be mentors, colleagues, or friends who challenge you to grow and keep you accountable. On the flip side, it's important to distance yourself from those who bring negativity or distractions into your life. This doesn't mean cutting people off harshly, but rather prioritizing relationships that align with your values. Regularly engage with communities or groups that inspire and motivate you. Whether it's a professional network, a hobby group, or an online community, these environments can provide the support and encouragement you need to thrive. Chapter 12. Don't worry. Worrying often feels productive. It feels like we're doing something, but it's actually draining our energy and focus. As the chapter wisely says, worrying does not empty tomorrow of its troubles. It empties today of its strength. Most of the things we worry about never actually happen, and those that do are rarely as catastrophic as we imagine. Instead of wasting energy on potential problems, this chapter encourages us to focus on solutions. One way to combat worry is by staying present. Use mindfulness techniques like deep breathing or meditation to bring your focus back to the current moment. Another helpful strategy is to write down your worries. Seeing them on paper can make them feel more manageable and allows you to brainstorm actionable solutions. For example, if you're worried about a tight deadline, list the steps needed to complete the project and start with the first one. Practicing gratitude is another powerful tool. It shifts your focus from what's going wrong to what's going right. At the end of each day, list 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small. By reframing challenges as opportunities and focusing on what you can control, you free yourself from the mental weight of unnecessary worry and create space for a more proactive mindset. Chapter 13. Do the hard thing first. Imagine starting your day by conquering the most challenging or dreaded task on your list. This idea is captured beautifully in the quote, "If it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning." Tackling difficult tasks early not only builds momentum for the rest of the day, but also clears mental space. When the hardest thing is behind you, everything else feels easier. This chapter emphasizes the value of prioritizing your most important or difficult tasks at the beginning of the day. It minimizes procrastination because you're not spending the whole day dreading that one thing. Plus, completing a challenging task gives you a sense of accomplishment that boosts your confidence. To apply this, identify your frog each evening. Decide what the most critical task for the next day is, and commit to starting with it. Eliminate distractions during this focused time to ensure you stay on track. And don't forget to reward yourself after finishing the task, whether it's a short break or a treat, to reinforce the habit. Remember, the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. Chapter 14. Delegate. Next, let's talk about delegation, an essential skill for maximizing your productivity and reducing stress. The saying, "If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together," reminds us that working with others isn't just about offloading tasks. It's about collaboration and trust. Delegating effectively allows you to focus on higher value activities while empowering others to contribute meaningfully. This chapter explains that good delegation starts with identifying the right tasks to delegate and finding the right people to handle them. Not everything on your to-do list needs your direct attention. For example, administrative tasks or routine responsibilities might be better suited for someone else. The key is clear communication. Set expectations, outline deadlines, and define what success looks like. Once tasks are delegated, follow up regularly to provide feedback and ensure progress. Effective delegation is not only about reducing your workload, but also about fostering teamwork. As the chapter puts it, the best leaders delegate and empower their team to achieve greatness. Chapter 15. How to learn anything faster. The more we learn, the more opportunities we create for ourselves. Or as the chapter says, the best way to predict the future is to create it by learning. Accelerated learning isn't about cramming. It's about breaking skills into manageable parts, practicing deliberately, and using consistent repetition to reinforce what you've learned. To start, deconstruct the skill you want to learn into smaller, specific components. For example, if you're learning a new language, focus first on vocabulary related to your daily life. Then, use techniques like spaced repetition, which involves reviewing material at gradually increasing intervals to improve retention. Deliberate practice is also key. Set aside focused time to work on your skill without distractions. Feedback is another critical element. Seek out constructive input to refine your approach and address weak areas. Finally, stay curious and persistent, even when progress feels slow. As the chapter wisely notes, the more you know, the faster you can learn. By adopting these strategies, you can approach any learning goal with confidence and efficiency. Chapter 16. 20 Productivity Tips. I wish I had known earlier. Let's dive into productivity, something we all strive for but often find elusive. This chapter offers 20 practical tips to boost your focus and efficiency, And the key takeaway is this: it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. As the chapter reminds us, small habits repeated daily lead to massive results over time. The focus here is on implementing simple strategies that create sustainable changes and deliver long-term benefits. A great place to start is by prioritizing your tasks. Use a system to identify the most important things you need to accomplish each day and tackle those first. Time blocking is another powerful tool. Allocate specific periods for deep, focused work and guard that time fiercely. Turn off notifications and minimize distractions. Don't confuse being busy with being productive. Many people are simply busy being busy. To avoid falling into that trap, regularly audit your workflow. Are there tasks you're doing out of habit that no longer add value? Cut them out. By focusing on high-priority tasks and refining your approach, you can achieve more in less time and with less stress. Chapter 17, 80-20 Rule. Next, let's talk about the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. This concept is a game changer for anyone looking to maximize their efficiency. The principle states that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. The key is to identify and focus on those high-impact activities. As the chapter says, not everything matters equally, and success depends on knowing what does. Start by listing all your tasks, then ask yourself, which ones contribute most to your goals? Once you've identified the 20% of actions that bring the most value, devote the majority of your time and energy to them. For example, if you're a salesperson, you might realize that most of your revenue comes from a small group of clients. Focusing on those relationships will likely yield better results than spreading yourself too thin. Regularly evaluate your priorities to ensure they align with this principle. Remember, focus on the 20% of activities that bring 80% of the results. By doing this, you can eliminate low-value tasks and concentrate on what truly moves the needle. Chapter 18, the Parkinson's Law. Let's explore Parkinson's Law, a concept that explains why tasks often take longer than they need to. The law states, work expands to fill the time available for its completion. If you give yourself a week to complete a task that could be done in 2 hours, chances are it'll take the whole week. This happens because more time invites procrastination, overthinking, and unnecessary perfectionism. To counteract this, set tight but realistic deadlines. For example, if you're writing a report, challenge yourself to complete the first draft in 2 hours instead of dragging it out all day. Breaking projects into smaller sections with individual time constraints can also help. A tool like a timer can create a sense of urgency. This is why techniques like the Pomodoro method are so effective. Constraints, far from being restrictive, can actually boost creativity and focus. As the chapter puts it, constraints breed creativity and productivity. By intentionally limiting the time you allocate to tasks, you can maintain momentum, reduce procrastination, and work more efficiently. Chapter 19, 8 Japanese Techniques to Overcome Laziness. Japan is a culture known for its discipline and commitment to improvement. This chapter highlights 8 Japanese techniques that can help you overcome laziness and boost productivity. What makes these methods powerful is their focus on simplicity, consistency, and mindfulness. One of the key techniques is Kaizen, which is all about making small, incremental changes. Think of it like the saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It's not about massive overnight transformation. It's about improving little by little every day. Another popular approach is the Pomodoro Technique. This involves working in short, focused intervals, typically 25 minutes, followed by a brief break. It's a great way to maintain focus while preventing burnout. Mindfulness is another cornerstone of these techniques. By staying present in the moment, you can reduce distractions and focus fully on the task at hand. The chapter emphasizes continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. So don't wait for the perfect time to start. Just take a small step today. Whether it's using Kaizen to tweak your routines or Pomodoro to manage your time, these techniques help build lasting habits and overcome inertia. Chapter 20. Do this for 10 minutes before you sleep. Now, let's talk about how you can end your day in a way that sets you up for success tomorrow. This chapter suggests dedicating just 10 minutes before bed to reflection and preparation. It's a simple practice with a big impact. Reflecting on your day helps you process what went well and what could be improved, while planning for the next day ensures you wake up with clarity. As the chapter says, end the day with intention, and you'll begin the next with clarity. One effective activity is journaling. Spend a few minutes reviewing your accomplishments and challenges. This can bring a sense of closure to your day. Another helpful habit is writing down your top priorities or to-dos for the next day. This reduces morning stress because you've already decided where to focus. Practicing gratitude is another way to end the day positively. List 3 things you're thankful for, no matter how small. Remember, what you do before sleep sets the tone for your subconscious. By reflecting, planning, and practicing gratitude, you create a peaceful transition into rest and set a positive foundation for tomorrow. Chapter 21. 10. Tiny habits that will change your life. This chapter introduces 10 simple habits that are easy to adopt, but can have a transformative effect over time. The key is consistency. As the chapter reminds us, your habits create your future. Build them wisely. Start with something as simple as drinking a glass of water each morning to rehydrate and energize your body. Small steps like this are easy to maintain and build momentum for bigger changes. Another impactful habit is taking 5 minutes each morning to set clear intentions for the day. This helps you focus and align your actions with your goals. Remember, the secret of success is found in your daily routine. By committing to one small habit at a time, you avoid feeling overwhelmed and set yourself up for long-term success. Whether it's moving your body, meditating, or simply expressing gratitude, these tiny actions add up over time. Start small, be consistent, and watch how these habits shape your life in meaningful ways. Chapter 22. Pomodoro Technique. Let's discuss a productivity method that has transformed the way many people work, the Pomodoro Technique. The premise is simple but incredibly effective. Work in short, focused intervals of 25 minutes, known as Pomodoros, followed by a 5-minute break. This structure allows for intense focus, while also preventing mental fatigue. As the chapter puts it, work smarter, not harder, with timed focus. One of the greatest strengths of the Pomodoro Technique is how it combats procrastination. Knowing you only have to commit to 25 minutes makes starting a task much less intimidating. It also helps maintain steady energy levels throughout the day because those regular breaks allow you to recharge. Over time, you can gradually increase the number of Pomodoros you complete each day to maximize productivity. During your breaks, take a moment to stretch, hydrate, or simply relax. This ensures you return to work refreshed. As the book says, the Pomodoro Technique turns time into your ally, not your enemy. By breaking work into manageable chunks, this method helps you stay focused, productive, and in control of your day. Chapter 23. 5-Minute Rule. Now let's explore the 5-minute rule, a deceptively simple but powerful technique for overcoming procrastination. Have you ever faced a daunting task and thought, I just don't know where to start? The 5-minute rule eliminates that mental barrier by asking you to commit to just 5 minutes of effort. As the chapter says, you can do anything for 5 minutes. The beauty of this rule is that it doesn't overwhelm you. It makes starting feel achievable. Here's why this works. Taking action, even a small one, sparks motivation. Often, once you've begun, you find it easier to keep going beyond those initial 5 minutes. It's like jump-starting your momentum. This approach also creates a series of small wins, which build confidence and reduce resistance to tackling larger tasks. Use a timer to make that initial commitment feel concrete and manageable. Once the 5 minutes are up, if you feel like stopping, you can. But more often than not, you'll find yourself continuing, And don't forget to celebrate completing those first 5 minutes. It's a great way to encourage yourself for future tasks. Remember, action sparks motivation, not the other way around. By simply starting, you take control and set the stage for real progress. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Chapter 24. 2-Day Rule. Get that? One of the biggest challenges when building new habits is avoiding the all-or-nothing mindset. This chapter introduces the 2-Day Rule, a practical strategy that allows you to maintain momentum without feeling rigid. The concept is simple. You can skip a habit for one day, but never for 2 consecutive days. As the chapter says, it's not about perfection, but persistence. Missing one day is an exception. Missing 2 is the start of a new habit, one you don't want to form. This rule is great because it strikes a balance between discipline and flexibility. Life happens. Maybe you're sick, overwhelmed, or simply need a break. The 2-Day Rule acknowledges that and gives you permission to pause without losing track entirely. To make this work, start by tracking your habits. Whether it's a journal, an app, or a simple checklist, having a visual reminder helps you stay accountable. If you miss a day, use that as an opportunity to reassess and recommit. Why did you miss it? How can you ensure you return to the habit tomorrow? This approach keeps you on track for long-term success, emphasizing persistence over perfection. Chapter 25. Wake up. Waking up early can transform your productivity and mindset by giving you quiet, focused time to start your day intentionally. Early mornings are often free from distractions, making them the perfect time to work on personal growth, plan your day, or tackle meaningful tasks. As the chapter puts it, the morning is your golden hour to create the life you want. And here's another great reminder. Win the morning, win the day. The first hour after waking is critical. It sets the tone for everything that follows. Start by gradually adjusting your wake-up time if early mornings aren't yet a habit. Once you're up, use that quiet time for activities that align with your goals. You might exercise to energize your body, plan your top priorities for the day, or spend time reading or journaling to center your mind. One key tip: avoid checking your phone or email first thing. This keeps your focus on what matters most instead of getting caught up in distractions. By using your mornings purposefully, you create a strong foundation for a productive and fulfilling day.